Hello and welcome to a very disappointing news. As you can have already seen on Rev Sports, Vinesh Phogat's order has been dismissed by CAS. Uh, and that is the one line. That is the one line that the operative part of the order has. And that's very disappointing because let me also give you what was asked on Sunday because and what had given us hope. What had given us hope on Sunday, and this is a rather disappointing end to this whole saga. Yes, it was expected. It was expected because going by the rules, this was very much on the cards. Each one of us knew that this could well happen. Each one of us knew that this was possible, and going by the rules could happen. All of that is true. But what was very disappointing was after Sunday, and now I can reveal because the operative part of the order is out. On Sunday, the crux of what was asked was that to the Indian delegation, I mean to Vinesh, when that additional time was taken, what was asked was what was asked was that if they don't disqualify Vinesh, I'm trying to paraphrase what was asked. If they don't disqualify Vinesh, what should what should they do? Something similar to that was asked of the Indian delegation, and that is what gave the Indians hope. That is what gave Vinesh hope. यही पूछा गया था उनसे कि रविवार को जब एक्स्ट्रा टाइम मांगा गया था 6 बजे तक, पहले दिन ऑर्डर जब आने वाला था 10 तारीख, वहां से उसको पुश करके 11 तारीख 6 बजे तक किया गया ऑन द नोशन कि कुछ सवाल पूछा गया था टू द इंडियंस एंड टू एवरी पार्टी एडिशनल डॉक्यूमेंटेशन. उस एक सवाल ये था कि what if they don't disqualify Vinesh Phogat? What can they do? Something similar to that, and that's when hopes were sort of arisen. And as we said every time, that first day I told you that it was a miracle that one could have expected, if because if you go by the rules, the case was done and dusted. Clearly the case was done and dusted, and it was always going to be the case that sadly, that if you purely go by the rules, there was never a chance. There was never going to be a chance. And sadly, at that point in time, from what I know, and my sources were continuously telling me this, that gradually, I mean, on day one when this case was filed, and I can give you the entire chronological sequence, I can tell you that I had no chance. When the case was first filed by Vinesh's lawyers in Paris, the pro bono lawyers, I had no chance, and I have repeatedly said that. I have repeatedly said that I did not think there was a chance. But thereafter, the sequence of events was such. But let me just give you the news point first. It is a a lot of people are asking me. In fact, I'm continuously getting calls saying, when you broke the news, what are the details? Even my own people, Shubhan, for example, called me and said, Boryada, order ka details bata do. A lot of people are asking me, athletes are calling me and asking me, what are the details of the order? The fact is, it's a one line operative order, just one line. It is a one line operative order. And I'll read it out to you. I'll read it out to you, and the one line of the operative order reads, you know, one second. Yeah, the one line operative order, uh, I will, yes. The one line operative order reads, the application filed by Vinesh Phogat on 7th August 2024 is dismissed. Operative part, Lausanne, 14th August uh, 2024. And it is so disappointing, and loads of messages coming that there are no details. And I spoke to the people concerned. The Indian Olympic Association is all on calls at the moment. Vinesh's team are all on calls. The lawyers are all on calls. I'm sure the IOA will organize a quick press conference also, maybe in the next few minutes. The next few minutes, that Harish Salve and PT Usha might address the media. ahead of the 15th August Independence Day. This is a bummer. This is a blow. Let a lot of people are saying law and legally and rules. Boss, I also know the rules, and I said it very categorically. I said it very categorically that going by the rules, there was always the rule book that could be thrown at us. But if you go by the sequence of events, if you go by the sequence of events, I think, you know, if you go by the sequence of events, most on the 11th, when it happened that the questions that were asked, some of these questions were, what should we do if Vinesh Phogat is not disqualified? Uh, that sort of raised the hope of the Indian side, that they are actually going into details, that what should we do. That was the crux of one of the questions, that what should we do if Vinesh is not disqualified. Then the Indian delegation met the medical commission, and they spent close to 3 hours with the medical commission, giving the details as to what really transpired on the sixth night and early morning of the seventh, and what all had actually transpired, what the whole medical side to the story, what all had transpired, what all did Vinesh have to go through, what went on there. Everything was given there. A lot of people, Shongbit, for example, is telling me, Boriada, আমি বলেছিলাম নর্থ আমেরিকা, ইউরোপ, চায়না, অস্ট্রেলিয়া, জাপান অ্যাথলিট হলে মেডেল দিত, সুসাকির ব্রঞ্জটা নালিফাই হবে না জানতাম. He's actually saying that countries like USA, Japan, North America, Europe, had it been some of these countries, they would have got the medal. He also is saying that Susaki's medal would not be nullified. A lot of these things. Now, how do we justify this, Shongbit? I don't know. I mean, you are actually alluding to something that uh, that is pretty difficult to digest, that in a world, we are uh, you know uh, how do I say this? How do I answer this? That it is actually a world that is, you are alluding to the world that is slightly towards the privileged. You are basically not saying racist, you are saying that this is a world that backs the privileged. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, Shogmit, I don't want to believe this. I don't want to believe this. Let's take the super chat. Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Olympics 24, 1, Neeraj will win a gold medal. 2, 5 reasons why silver. Boria is rocking with prediction. You can come and say Boria is rocking with prediction and come back at me at anything. If you think Neeraj Chopra should not have won gold or should not have predicted with an 89.45, and Vinesh Phogat, the 5 points that I raised, I've got no problems. If I get it wrong, trying to support my people, and if I say that Neeraj Chopra is a gold medal candidate, and you come back at me and say my predictions are wrong, no problem. No problem whatsoever. It is never about me. It is about my country and my athletes. And Neeraj Chopra remains a golden boy who would, every competition that he participates in, and if he is prepared, I will say he has a gold medal chance. If anyone knows a little bit of sport will agree with me, Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So I'm totally fine with it. You want to take a pot shot at me? How the hell does it matter? Uh, I also, I mean, blue heartbreak. Absolutely. All of us, actually thought that in the last few days, and I've been speaking to the lawyers. Uh, I've been speaking to the lawyers. I've been speaking to Vinesh's team. Susaki remains unbeaten internationally. Yes, sports fan, because Vinesh's results will be nullified. Bogus rules in wrestling. I want to read the detailed order. I mean, as and when it comes out. This is just one line of the operative part of the order which has been sent, which says the petition has been dismissed and it is dated whatever date. And that's a fact. But I also want to see the details of the order, and I'm keen on seeing that if the order has larger ramifications, and if the order actually talks about wrestling at large, and if the order actually talks about the fact that something needs to change as far as the sport. Sharoj Patro, what is the logic for not giving silver? I think rules. I mean, if you seriously go by rules, but then how does Yu Susaki get the bronze? That's also flouting of the rules. That's also against the rules. If you see the UWW rules of 2023, that Article 18, it never says that it is not applicable to the Olympics. It's not from Paris, Shopnil, you have to change, I'm back in India. The fact of the matter is, if you seriously go by the rules, then according to the rules, Susaki doesn't get the bronze. Susaki doesn't get the bronze, and that is a fact. And Priyanshu's point is well taken. Priyanshu's point, if you can flash on screen, Vinesh, you're a true champ, and inspiration fighting all odds, a medal won't define your legacy. Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. I've just written a piece. Read it. Read the piece. I've actually documented hour by hour what went on the 6th and 7th, something I was telling you all about in the show today. Anyone who is going for Vinesh, and I've read a few tweets which said she's a political stooge and all of that stuff. Anyone who is going for Vinesh Phogat, I just request you, kindly read my piece. If after reading my piece you think that Vinesh Phogat was wrong, you think that Vinesh Phogat was a political stooge and did not put in effort, trust me, then I don't know my sport. I don't know my sport. I mean, there are question after question that's coming now. Pakistan finished ahead of us, etc. Talk about the subject at hand, my friends. Talk about the subject at hand. It is not a political thing. And I've said this to you guys many, many times. A lot of people are telling me, even on Twitter, by the way, there is a quick response that has come from the Indian Olympic Association. IOA president expresses disappointment at outcome in Vinesh's application. The Indian Olympic Association president Dr. P.T. Usha expressed her shock and disappointment at the decision of the sole arbitrator to dismiss wrestler Vinesh Phogat's application against the UWW and the IOC. The operative part of the August 14 decision, which dismisses Vinesh's application to be awarded a shared silver, has significant implications for her in particular and the sporting community at large. The marginal discrepancy of 100 grams and the resultant consequences has profound impact, not only in terms of her career, also serious questions about ambiguous rules and interpretation. The IOA believes that the total disqualification for such a weight infraction on the second of 2 days warrants a deeper examination. Our legal representatives had duly brought this out in their submissions before the sole arbitrator. The matter involving Vinesh highlights inhuman regulations that fail to account for the physiological and psychological stresses athletes, particularly female athletes, undergo. In light of the order of CAS, the IOA continues to be in full support of Ms. Phogat and is exploring further legal options. So this is it. This is the story now. IOA is exploring further legal options. The IOA is committed to Vinesh Phogat. And that is the story. The story is Indian Olympic Association exploring, I'm tweeting as we speak, exploring further legal options and says it stands by Vinesh, condemns, says they are shocked by the order, says it doesn't take into account the problems and inhuman conditions the wrestlers have to go through of the sport and the inhuman conditions wrestlers are subjected to, which has larger ramifications for the sport. So I'm tweeting this as we do this live, and I am also as disappointed as anyone. IOA exploring further options and says it stands by Vinesh. They are shocked by the order, the problems of the sport and the inhuman condition. Lots of questions coming. Like I read it out to you, the IOA firmly believes we appreciate the continued support of the public. So the IOA making that clear, and once again, I mean, a lot of people telling me thank you for the break, etc. How the hell does it matter a break, boss? It is my job to break a story, but what does it matter? The matter is, it has nothing to do with the story break. The point is, whole of India wanted Vinesh Phogat to be given the silver. More importantly, larger questions of the sport should have been addressed. The sport has certain rules which are unfair, certain rules which pushes athletes' bodies to do things which are extreme and which are not human. We wanted the larger ramifications of the sport to be brought out, and that is more critical. I wrote a piece today saying this, that far more important than the silver medal, what is important is if this could have brought reform to wrestling, if this could have brought changes to the sport, and that is what was important for me. This whole operative part of the order, this whole operative part, one line part of the order is quite shocking. How do you dismiss it in one line? And that for me is the shocking part of the order. You know, that is the problem. That for me is the shocking part of the order, that it in one line they have dismissed it in one line. I understand that it is the operative part. I also understand that the further legal order with the detailed order will come at some point, but it actually ends the Olympics as a very disappointing Olympics for India. Make no mistake, it was an underwhelming Olympics for India. Justice served, play fair or don't play at all. Why cheat India? What do you mean? Who's cheating here? If you mean to say an athlete can't appeal an order, what do you mean? Who's cheating what? An athlete can't appeal an order. She fought fair and square and beat the world's best wrestler and two other bouts. Who's saying she's cheated? Come on, boss. Who's saying she's cheated? Vinesh Phogat fought fair and square and is an absolute champion of our sport. Like Abhinav Bindra had said at day one, you don't deserve or you don't need a gold medal around your neck or a silver medal around your neck to be labeled a champion. And Vinesh Phogat stays a champion. She protested. She is very much within rights, as is every other athlete, to protest or challenge an order, to protest or put out her side of the story and go for an appeal. And that is what she did. There is no question. Where is the question of cheating? Where is the question of cheating even coming here? There will be no amendments in rules. Shubhankit Parikh, I don't know. I don't know unless the bigger order or the larger order comes in, the detailed order comes in. I don't know. Shobdil, unless Abhijit's internet is proper, don't get anybody online. Don't get anyone online unless they check the back end and then get someone online. You know, the fact of the matter is pretty clear. It's a one line that has been mentioned. One line that has been mentioned, and that's the end of story. Abhijit, first thoughts?
Can't believe it. Can't believe it, because the delay that has been happened, it was looking like, because the UWW has confused themselves by putting in Susaki in the bronze repechage round. That clearly conflicts what the way they disqualified Vinesh Phogat, and now the verdict isn't come. It's just undigestible. I thought there was a bit of a ray of hope that she might get it. But yeah, but at one other side, you also see she was overweight, and then certainly the human side, what Vinesh Phogat has done. The arena was closed at the village area, and the other things were not taken into consideration. The conflict of allowing Susaki to play the repechage itself is a big confusing statement by UWW, and then you're not giving Vinesh. It's a bit unfair. I don't think. I'm sure Vinesh and her team will definitely reach out to the higher court, that's the human right courts, and maybe that's the option left with them, and they should try to get a medal if possible from the higher court. But
Abhijit, the IOA has already issued a statement saying that they are seeking further legal deliberation. If you could just push back a little bit, Abhijit, because of the frame, just go a little back. Yes, just go a little back and to your right. To your right, the other side. Yes, perfect. The IOA has issued a statement whereby they have said that they are standing by Vinesh Phogat big time and they are disappointed and shocked. PT Usha has issued the statement and they've also said that they are seeking further legal remedy. Do you think that there is merit in seeking further legal remedy? Do you think when the detailed order comes out at CAS, Do you think they will at least talk about larger ramifications for the sport? Because this one line cryptic order, and as we broke the story, in fact, when I broke the story, trust you me, I kept asking my source, "Are you sure it's a one line? Are you sure it's a one line?" And I was told, "Boss, yes, it's a one line." I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. When I broke the story, my hands were actually, I mean, when I was typing the story on and breaking the thing on X, I just couldn't believe that it was one line. My own people, Shubhan called me and said, "Buriala, और क्या है order में वो थोड़ा सा बताइए." And I said, "यार कुछ नहीं है, खाली एक line है." And that is what has now been put out
I
in
mean,
the
even I'm
line
shocked
also.
because even I'm shocked. When normally when you give an order, initial order it's at least a summary of at least 4 or 5 lines. Because as I said, I'm a son of a lawyer and I'm a brother of a judge. So I know how the orders are given out. To give just a one line is it's a big shocker. And of course, as IOA has given the official statement that they will disappointed, and since they have appealed in the court of arbitration, now the next level has to be there to go and seek in the human rights court, because this is of course a case where UWW has confused themselves. They have conflicted themselves by allowing Susaki. That is the base point, because
Abhijit's internet is a bit problematic, and no change in rules either is very disappointing. I do think there should be a change in rules, and that is why I'm waiting for the detailed order. A lot of you. I'm also waiting for a detailed order. The IOA has issued a statement. We have put out that statement also. Uh, put out that statement also. You know, and it is difficult. It is difficult for any athlete. It is difficult for any athlete to even digest the fact that one was go through. How the decision is preponed from August 16 to today? It's not been preponed. I mean, it has not been preponed. They had said they have taken time till August 16. It doesn't necessarily mean Hyderabad News Studio that they couldn't give it earlier. They have dismissed the petition. I mean, they are well within their rights. They are well within their rights to do that. I mean, Praveen Rajasekaran, the rules definitely need amendments. The viewers feel cheated as well, as we also Vinesh win her bouts on live TV. Absolutely. And if you have seen that bout against Susaki, that 40 seconds and then that push and that 2 point takedown, come on, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, what a brilliant push that was, and what a brilliant sort of move that was. 2 plus and then became 3-2 when Susaki challenged it. Then that Guzman Lopez bout, Vinesh was an outright winner, clearly in dominance, 5-0. I was there in the stadium, then meeting her. For me, it is very painful, because in her last moment when she was thrilled and happy, I actually had the opportunity of meeting her. So it was after the her life has changed since, right? I mean, after her semi-final, when she was going past the mixed zone, she comes to me, she shook my hand, and we said, "Sir, kal karte hain, kal aap jo mangoge kal karenge." She clearly knew she had to check her weight, and she ran in to do her weight. Clearly at that point in time, it was a different world on the evening of 6th of August, and then on the morning of 7th. Like I told you, let me quickly sum up in 2-3 minutes what she did. Soon after her bout was over, for all of you watching, and a lot of you are watching, soon after her bout was over, within 20 minutes, she got into a sauna suit and wrestled and sparred with her coach for 1 hour between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. in the wrestling arena. Then she went back to the village. Within half an hour, she took a shower and went back to the gym. She cycled, she jogged, she sparred, she ran, she did everything. That went on for 3.5 hours. This after fighting 3 bouts in the day, not drinking a morsel, eating a morsel of food and drinking a sip of water. An athlete was doing this. Then at around 3 p.m., when sweat stopped coming out, they started doing external treatments like rubbing the hand and the legs to get sweat out. Finally, at 4 p.m., they started panicking, and then they got the sauna opened. Then they went into the sauna for one final time. Finally, they cut her hair and cut off parts of her clothes to try and see if they can reduce the weight by a little bit. And then she literally ran into her weigh-in. She was 100 grams over. Abhijit, I just can't believe this. In my 30 years of covering sport, this will have to be one of the most difficult decisions that one has to digest. My heart goes out for Vinesh Phogat, but I have to say she stays a champion of mine.
Indeed, she's a legend. I mean, she has won medal at the World Championship, at the Asian Games, at the Commonwealth Games, three gold medal at the Asian Game. Sorry, at the Commonwealth Games, and then Olympic medal doesn't take away the legend she has been. Absolute. And then my question is, if you have to give a one-line judgment, why to give it now? You could have given it on the same day, on 9th of August. The first appeal was, I think, 11th of August was the day when they were supposed to give. Then it was again turned to 13th, then again to, it was increased. If there was one line, I don't understand what's the point. And again, we understand the rules that, okay, she was overweight by 100 grams, but then you follow the rule book, follow that UWW has allowed Susaki, who was beaten by Vinesh Phogat. If you are disqualifying Vinesh Phogat uh, because she reached the finals and was overweight, why are you allowing Susaki here? That is the main question that everyone need to understand. If they hadn't allowed Susaki, Urida, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Let me tell you this. On Sunday, Abhijit, on Sunday, when they asked those questions, remember, when they asked
Yeah, yeah.
those questions, you know what one of the questions was? Now I can tell you this because, as I said, I had promised that I will not reveal this. One of the questions, or the crux of one of the questions, was, if we don't disqualify Vinesh Phogat, what should we do? Now, if
Yep.
that doesn't raise the hope of the Indian side, you tell me what raises the hope of the Indian side. That was the moot point of one of the questions asked by the sole arbitrator on Sunday. That if we don't disqualify Vinesh Phogat, what should we do? Now, if you don't get your hopes raised by this, Abhijit, tell me, as a sports journalist who's covered 3 Olympic Games, what is one supposed to do? You tell me.
No, I mean, if on one side, if it's been said, you're disqualifying, then you have to eliminate all the athletes Vinesh has Phogat, and they should not be allowed. By allowing Susaki, you have confirmed that Vinesh Phogat has reached the finals, and then a medal should be allowed in this case, because you are completely conflicting this one. I believe this the decision. I mean, if they have not allowed Susaki to compete for the repechage, I would have understand that, because in that way they are playing all the rule books as per the rules. But here it's completely contradicting. By allowing Susaki to play in the repechage, the UWW has changed all the rules. I think all the in fact the uh, uh, every bout in that weight category is now into a questionable side. Um and then it's really disheartening to see, Vinesh has lost in this verdict. You're on mute. You're on mute.
I can't believe this, Abhijit. Each time I read this operative part of the order, and by the way, I can send the operative part of the order to my backend team here. If you want to put it, just put it out. I mean, I don't know who's there. Shopnil, are you there? If you can put out the screenshot, Shopnil, let the audience also see it. It's a cryptic one-line operative part of the order. If you could put the screenshot, Shopnil, yeah, he's doing it. Uh, uh, it's, I don't know. I mean, uh, just put out the operative part of the order. Big contradiction in rules. Shuchi, I agree with you. Shuchi Rakheja. Sorry about the mispronunciation, but France jump in medal count, etc. Cuban wrestler should have been to play final. Vinesh deserves silver. Absolutely, Shubha. Look at this. Look at this decision. This is the order. That's it. Look at the decision, Abhijit. It's a one-line decision. That's all that has come. When I was sent this, believe me, I called my source and I said, "What is this? What is this?" I said, "Boss, what is this?" And he said, "This is it." I'm like, "What are you telling me? What are you telling me?" I mean, for I actually got to know. So I broke the story. I broke the story exactly. I'll tell you, 39 minutes back, 9:09. I got to know at 9:02. For 6-7 minutes, I was literally grappling with it. Boss, what are you
Yep.
telling me? I
Yep.
couldn't believe. I was like, are you not telling me the full thing? Tell me the full thing. Give me the full order. If I have to break the story, I have to break the full story. This is all. All of our viewers kindly see this decision, one line, done, dusted. So
This
then
is
why did you not do this on the 8th itself? Why not on the
and this
10th?
is
Why not on the 11th? Why not on the 12th? What is this thing about pushing it
and this
back
is
time and again, Abhijit?
this CAS, the highest or court for all the athletes where they're supposed to fight for this thing, and the decision is just for one liner. It's a bit shocker because normally it gives you a summary of at least 4 5 lines. If you see any order that's been there in any court in the world, it at least has to be a 4 5 liner summary of saying what exactly on what basis it has been done. This is actually when you see CAS is giving this thing, it's hard to digest the fact. And then as we said earlier, why not then it was given earlier? uh, I'm to be honest, I don't know when the full order will be announced, but I'll be interesting to read it. But uh, just a one liner, it's something doesn't look right. You're on mute.
I think this one line demeans the athlete, Abhijit. I think this one line demeans a country. I think this one line demeans a lot of things. This is not. I understand it's the operative part of the order, but there is also something called sensitivity in law. I don't
Yep.
think this is sensitive enough from CAS. I mean, with due respect to CAS, it's the highest body in sport.
Yep.
I don't think I don't think this shows enough respect to the sanctity of sport, nor does it show enough respect to the athlete, nor does this show enough respect to India. I'm sorry, but this has come as a bitter shock to every one of us. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this Olympics has been always a bit of controversy. We have seen the Iman Khalifi thing. Now why not raising the questions of an athlete who's having an XY chromosomes is allowed to participate in female boxing, and the gold medal is has been awarded to the Algerian boxer with an XY chromosomes. What about that? What will CAS give the same thing? Now I feel pretty bad to the other boxers in the same category, who have fight with an athlete with XY chromosomes. Clearly, the verdict that has come with Vinesh Phogat, and that to a one-liner, is it's not fair to the athletes, not fair to the wrestling fraternity, and not fair to the country as well. I think uh, it's not only disappointing to see a CAS, which is the highest court for all the athletes, giving this one-liner, but even on what's ground it has been given, because we understand, everyone knows that Vinesh Phogat was 100 gram overweight, but the UWW has again contradicted themselves by allowing Susaki. If Vinesh Phogat has been disqualified, then Susaki shouldn't have been allowed to compete in the Rapita draw.
Absolutely
Uh,
correct. I mean, how is it that there are double standards here and that goes unnoticed and unchecked, Abhijit? It is a clear case of double standards. This
yes.
is this is pathetic, I have to say, and very, very stunning. Then why don't you have straight rules and consistent rules for everybody? I mean, in your own rules, you are contradicting your own rules. I mean, and that has been quite shocking for me. I
Now
I,
the
I
sport,
have to say I can't believe this.
the Olympics and sports are now in doubt. Will a youngster want to go in such kind of situation, where especially with the boxing, the Iman Khalifa thing, where um, all the female boxer has to fight against a boxer which is having XY chromosomes. Now, plenty of young generation will think whether should we pick up sports or not. The decision, what we have seen at the Paris Olympics, it's have turned many youngsters. They would think twice. Should I uh, take my career in this kind of sports? Because if there is no justice, if the rule books have not been followed, then how can we expect in future such things will not be repeatable? Again, we are repeating this thing, and I think we are standing on the same point that if it was just a case of overweight, we could have understand. But now the UWW has again contradicted themselves by allowing Susaki, who lost to Vinesh Phogat in the first round. Uh, it is very unfortunate.
Absolutely, and two, three more questions, Abhijit. Wrestlers who lost to Vinesh are silver and bronze medalists. How cruel can sports be at times? Take it.
Uh, no, I mean, in, yeah, it's cruel. I mean, sport has become cruel now. I mean, when the silver medalists and especially the bronze medalists, you know, some years down the line when Vinesh won't be having that medal, and when we all of us talking about this, it's completely unfair that Vinesh has defeated all the silver medalists and bronze medalists, and yet he's not having that medal. I don't remember anything has happened that before in the sport. The sports is cruel. I mean, we have seen that 100 gram, and then even in the boxing side, the boxers eventually with XY chromosomes winning the women's gold medal. I think something is really wrong, and it's hard to digest such things, especially with the Vinesh Phogat.
UWW rules are clear. In case a finalist is disqualified, former opponents are still considered for the repechage. Yes, that is a bylaw. I mean, so how is the rule? How is that rule consistent, my friend? We know I have read the UWW rules 22 times more. How is that rule consistent? You tell me, Imon. How is that rule consistent? Now I am a wrestler who has been defeated by Guzman Lopez. Now you tell me, how are you being fair to me? How are
Yep.
you fair to me? Vinesh Phogat has come last. Vinesh Phogat has been disqualified. She's last. So how am I, who's lost to Guzman Lopez? How did I not get the chance to fight for the
I think
repechage? And how did Susaki get the chance to fight for the repechage? How is this rule consistent? Rules, so then constitutional amendments would always not be there, because then the constitution is sacrosanct. Why need an amendment? Because if everything was correct, why need an amendment? Rules are meant to be changed because the rule is faulty. The rule is
yep.
clearly at fault here. There is no consistency in the rule. And that is why we are trying to point out. You are telling me that the rule is there. Now tell me that if you were a wrestler who was defeated by Guzman Lopez, how would you feel? That's when you would feel hard done. Come on, man. Yes, Abhijit.
I'm surprised the opponents which has lost to the Cuban wrestler. Why didn't there is this question? Why didn't they reach out to Cass? Because if the Cuban wrestler is allowed to compete in the final, why didn't the wrestler the opponent that Cuban wrestler defeated? Why they have not got a chance for the repechage? I'm really shocked to see the other countries haven't done anything. I think now is the chance that all the the NOCs should reach out to Cass saying that the UWW has not followed the rule book, and their wrestlers should have also got a chance because Vinesh Phogat is disqualified, and when Susaki get the repechage round, why not the other wrestler, the which Cuban wrestler has defeated from the first round? You're on mute.
Is there any bigger body where she can appeal? She can go to Cass again. She can take it to Cass again to a because this was a single judge arbitrator. She can absolutely take it to an appeals panel. She can surely appeal. We have to see, this is the operative part of the order. We have to see the detailed order. Are there any ramifications for the sport that she has said? What is the detailed order? Has she given what the Indian side represented, what it means? And then obviously the IOA is considering legal remedy, is what the IOA press release has said. So she can absolutely appeal to a higher court. Do you think they will do that, Abhijit? Do you think that there is
They have
still
to.
chance that they will do that?
Obviously, everything when they've given a chance in Cass, why not to the higher body? That's the I mean, I would have done that. If you don't get justice at a court, you go to higher court. That's the main important thing. And sometimes you have to fight for get the justice. Uh, you don't consider what things going to be on your side, but you have to fight for the justice. You have to follow the process. And if
Wait,
Cass
wait.
is
There is
not,
a good question. Let me answer this now. So, Imon, to answer your question, the question is, how do you expect Lopez's opponents to be ready for the weigh-in the next morning, or even be ready to fight that day? They'd gone to bed previous night completely unaware. Point. So how about Lopez? How did Lopez not be? So Lopez did not weigh between 7:15 and 7:30. Lopez
yep,
did not weigh between that time. Lopez had so how about Lopez? Because she was being pushed to the final. She was ready for the repechage bout. I mean, come on. If did you even check with some of the athletes? How do you know that Susaki? You are giving Susaki an opportunity because she's a world champion. What are you telling me here? Did you even check with some of the athletes who were Lopez's competitors? Did Susaki immediately come in for the thing? Yes, because why? She was considered a repechage contestant because Vinesh was a finalist. Did you actually want to check? Did you actually want to check with some of the other wrestlers that are you ready for the weigh-in? Have you even left? You are going by a rule, which rule clearly contradicts your own rule. Your own rule says the defeated wrestlers who have been defeated by the finalist. Here the finalist has been disqualified and she has been ranked last, and the other wrestlers who are not even part of the schema are pushed there. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Here is a rule which is at base faulty. Now, if someone is pointing it out, now going by that, even 1968 during the Tommy Smith, John Carlos, black salute, it was said that Olympic podiums cannot be used for protest, and their medals were snatched away, and they were castigated, and they were thrown away into the dumps, and then 30 years later, you revive them as Olympic heroes and you honor them. Going by the same thing, Muhammad Ali was castigated. Racism was rampant. Muhammad Ali was thrown away. Muhammad Ali was not even given any kind of recognition. The same man is brought back in Atlanta and does what he does with that arrow and starts the Olympic Games and is considered a legend. Rules are there to be amended if there is a fault. That's why they are rules. Every sport has amended its rules when they have found such rules to be unfair. And that is why the court of arbitration exists. The court of arbitration exists because there can be disputes. And if they go into the values of sport, this was an opportunity for the rules to be rectified. Now, if you're giving an order, fine, don't give her the medal. At least write in that order, in the operational part, that there are further ramifications for the sport which can be detailed out in the larger order. Why give a one-line cryptic order which just dismisses the petition without even addressing the elephant in the room that these rules need to be changed? That is a huge problem, my friend. That's a huge problem.
And I think on the day when Vinesh was overweight, I think it was declared that there won't be a silver medal given. And again, after that, the Cuban wrestler was allowed to fight. I mean, again, it just is so confusing and contradicting things by UWW to allowing Susaki. Had Susaki would not have given a chance and the Cuban wrestler, then it would have made sense, some sense. But at this point, it's really disappointing, and I'm sure Vinesh Phogat and her team and IOA will definitely go to higher court to seek the justice.
Let's finish the show. We've run, we've sort of done it for close to 45 minutes. I've written a piece on Vinesh Phogat and what she did. So for people who call her a political stooge and such kind of statements, kindly read the piece. You don't need to support Vinesh Phogat. We will. You don't need to say good things about Vinesh Phogat. We will. You don't need to celebrate Vinesh Phogat. We will. You don't need to celebrate any Indian athlete. We will. The point is, kindly read the piece if you have any interest in sport to find out what this woman and this lady went through for 12 hours. After 3 fights, 3 bouts, what she went through that night between 8 a.m. and 7:15 a.m. is an eye-opener for every one of us. After that, you want to castigate Vinesh Phogat? Go ahead and castigate Vinesh Phogat. On that note, Abhijit Deshmukh, thank you very, very much for joining me. To everyone who has watched, in solidarity with Vinesh Phogat is all I will say. We will continue to celebrate her as a champion, and on Independence Day, we will celebrate the freedom with which she beat Susaki and the freedom with which she fought. Yes, sport is cruel. Yes, sport teaches us how to lose. And all I will say is, Vinesh, for God's sake, do not retire. Do not retire. Come back and give it back to the sport because you deserve to. You still have the body, you still have the mind, you still have the ability. You won't be that old. You can come back and win an Asian Games gold again. You can come back and win something at an Olympic level again. Come back and do not give up on the sport because you deserve to. On that note, thank you very, very much, everybody. Thank you, Abhijit Deshmukh, for watching.
Thank you very much.